Griffin. You can see that Tarver, who didn't turn pro until 28, is a relatively young 34, thinks he could fight for another 5 years. Griffin, the younger, but by far the more used up of the two fighters. Griffin gives up 7 inches in height. They both weighed in at 175, and you can see that Griffin has put on more weight in the 27-hour interim. A 4.5-inch reach advantage for Tarver. A 1.5-inch arm length advantage. Once again, reach is measured all the way across the back from fingertip to fingertip, and arm length is measured from the underarm out to the end of the fist. Rules about whether unofficial ringside scorer Harold Letterman.
The Antonio Tarver Montell Griffin fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges are going to use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean punching. Jim.
All right, thanks, Harold. The favorite in the fight is Tarver. Let's take a closer look at the underdog, but the veteran of the two, Montell Griffin. Griffin, who says that he has spent 6 years in hell since the August 7 knockout at the hands of Roy Jones here in 1997 in this building that derailed his career. Jones getting revenge for his DQ loss to Griffin. Griffin says, "I'm a slick boxer. That's not likely to change tonight. Defense is his great forte." Roy Jones has called Montell Griffin on a cell phone to tell him that if he can win this fight, he'll get in line for a 3rd shot at Jones. Meanwhile, across the ring, Antonio Tarver has been outside of Jones, the hottest fighter in the light heavyweight division in recent years. A rising tide with 4 straight wins, including the 5-round revenge destruction of Eric Harding that put him in position to begin calling out Jones for a title shot. A long, strong southpaw, unlike most of the physical specimens you see in the upper divisions. He has the punching power advantage here. And Montell Griffin says that he doesn't believe Antonio Tarver is ready for a tough fight. He wants to test Tarver's heart. It might be difficult for Griffin to do it with his style. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer now for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to HBO Boxing After Dark. Brought to you tonight by DeBella Entertainment in association with Foxwoods Resort and Casino of Mashantucket, Connecticut, along with Perfect 10 Magazine, the King of Beers Budweiser, and Goose and Tudor Promotions. All the contests are sanctioned by the Mashantucket Pequot Tribal Nation Athletic Commission, Chairman Joey Carter, Vice Chairman Richard Butler. The 3 judges for this contest will be Steve Epstein, John Lawson, and George Smith. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Michael Ortega. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing. This is for the vacant IBF WBC Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing green trimmed with gold and officially weighing 175 pounds. His professional record, 44 victories, including 29 knockouts, with only 3 defeats and 1 world title. From Las Vegas, Nevada, the former light heavyweight world champion, Montell "Ice" Griffin. And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the silver gray trimmed with red, his official weight also at 175 pounds. He has a professional record consisting of 20 victories, including 17 knockouts, with only 1 defeat. Fighting out of Orlando, Florida, he's the #1 ranked light heavyweight contender in the world, Antonio the Magic Man Tarver.
Let's go, Montell.
Okay, gentlemen, we went over the rules. A good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Your trunks are high right here, okay? Right here and up is good. Okay? Tuck them up. Best of luck to both of you.
You saw the height disadvantage Griffin is facing. Yesterday he said to us, height doesn't matter to me. I've never been taller than anyone I've fought. But it's clear that the style matchup should be intriguing with Tarver's punching power and long arms against Griffin's defensive skills. Manuel Stewart will elaborate that as soon as the bell rings for round number 1. Referee Michael Ortega wiping a wet spot from Griffin's corner. And now the two fighters have waited an unusually long period of time before finally going into action. Manny, what about the style matchup? What kind of fight should it produce?
Well, you know, it very easily could end up being a boring fight if Montell fights his laid-back counter-punching style of fighting. He's already made it clear that he questions the heart of Tarver, but it won't be effective if he doesn't apply pressure.
Tarver, for his part, has shaken off the barbs of those who have said that they don't think he's tough, and in order to prove himself, he voluntarily stepped up and took a rematch with Eric Harding when he didn't really need to do so based on his ranking, and made it pay off with a 5-round destruction of Harding that really represented, to me, big improvement as a fighter.
As big improvement also, it's been like the highlight of his entire career professionally. Tonight's fight, I think, is going to be a little different than I thought. I think that Griffin is going to be more of a puncher. Normally he doesn't punch as much, but I think tonight he's going to be a little bit more aggressive.
His body looks unusually strong for Montell, deeper chest than is normally the case.
And he's not going to outbox Tarver. He's going to have to be a little bit more aggressive, a little more physical.
Tarver starts out behind the long jab, as you might expect from a fighter of his dimensions. And it seems abundantly clear that Griffin's going to have to get to Tarver's body at some time or another.
Yes, he's going to have to get him. He's trying to concentrate on getting a short right hand through the center.
Griffin's elusiveness can conspire to lower the punch output of opponents. Tarver isn't a guy who fights at an overwhelmingly fast pace anyway. Griffin with a left up and under momentarily shocks Tarver. He got him earlier with a good body punch.
It seems to be a lot more explosive punching power than I expected from both guys early.
Six years in hell, you saw the graphic. Montell Griffin has won 18 of his 19 fights since the first round destruction against Jones in August '97, and he says with some accuracy, nobody remembers anything I've done since that fight. All they remember is the video of me getting knocked out by Jones.
And I'm one that will admit that too. I don't recall him having any fights other than the last fight when Roy Jones knocked him out in the first round.
Big left hand by Tarver.
The guy that's shooting power punches, there's not too much light punching. Everything is shot with power. Tarver seems to be a little bit sharper right now at this stage.
Tarver jabbing twice, 3 times, got it ready to follow with the left again. Couldn't quite let it go. Griffin usually elusive, although his head was stock still when Tarver landed the left hand before. And now Tarver gets him into the corner, and with a left and a right, drops Montell Griffin on his knees.
Griffin didn't see the punch at all.
And Montell wobbles in front of Ortega.
He's in bad shape.
Give me his gloves. The gloves. All right?
This could be tough. Tarver's going to come in and try to finish. And the round comes to a close as Ortega momentarily blocked Tarver's back.
Yes, he did.
Tiny lucky brick for Griffin, or so it seemed, at the end of the round.
Take a step back. Take a step with your hands up, okay? Get your legs a little closer. Get your heads a little closer together, okay? Now this round, I want you to box in this round. Give me this round, okay?
Griffin has got a very...
Don't pull straight back to those shots. The only thing you got is those straight shots, okay? Yeah. Okay. He got my hand. That's okay.
Right on him, Antonio. Don't let him rest.
He was out.
Okay? Don't let him rest, baby. It's your note. Your night.
It's over.
Your night. Let's go, champ.
Quick look at the knockdown, Manny.
It basically was a situation where a guy didn't see a punch. He was trying to reorganize himself after missing a punch and got hit. And punches are always effective when you don't see them.
Close to a rapid punch. He caught him on the back of the head.
Lost his equilibrium.
Round 2 begins. Griffin has the unfortunate distinction of having been knocked down in each of the past 2 rounds he's fought in this building. August 7, 97 against Jones, and now this.
Your head coming in.
So Montell Griffin is fighting a mountingly bad history here in Ledyard, Connecticut.
Yes, it is, and he's having problems trying to get inside. He's pretty much restricted to just trying to land one punch, a right-hand punch. In the meantime, the distance that Tarver's making him fight at is giving him a lot of problems.
Tarver just missed with a big left over the top. Sailed across the top of Griffin's skull.
Everything that Griffin does, he has to learn to do it.
Griffin was only able to get off 19 punches in the first round to get 69 for Tarver, and now Tarver catches him with a left hand inside again. Griffin trying to duck out of the way, but he's in the corner. Tarver lands the left again and again. Griffin taking it well for the moment, but Tarver's just batting him around.
Tarver's fighting just right. He's not getting too close where he's smothering his work. He's keeping the fight still at a distance where he can punch, and Griffin has problems with punching back because he's still too far away.
Tarver's been amazingly accurate the first 2 rounds against Montell Griffin, who is normally difficult to hit, but has been a willing target for Tarver. And Tarver catches him again to the body and the head, and now Griffin with the left off the ropes, back Tarver up.
Both of these guys come to fight tonight.
Well, who said the fight might be dull, huh?
I thought it was going to be dull.
I'm amazed at what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
Action fight.
Whoever goes down is going to go down fine, that's for sure.
Tarver bombing Griffin with a left. And Griffin with a good counter left hook as Tarver lands again. Griffin on the back of Tarver's head.
I think Griffin's legs are still hurt, so he's fighting off of the rope because he can't fight too good in the center of the ring. But he's doing it very effectively.
I'll never forget watching Tommy Morrison go in against a stricken Michael Bent and lose $2.5 million in a date with Lennox Lewis on one big punch.
That's what a punch you do in boxing.
When you have a man in trouble against the ropes, you have to be a little bit wary.
Tarver's a little bit cautious now because he's got hit with some counter punches as he's been in trying to finish off Griffin.
Griffin landed 2 or 3 really solid shots off the ropes, even when in trouble. Tarver trying to target the left hand through the guard. Griffin makes it out of the round. Big excitement so far here at Foxwoods. Watching from 3,300 miles away, all the way across the country in Big Bear, California, Oscar De La Hoya, world 154-pound king, getting ready to fight Yori Boy Campus next Saturday night, and will be talking with us between these 2 fights tonight. The trademark smile, which is probably the #1 sales credential for the sport of boxing, right?
Start your shots at the body, then bring them back to the head. Okay? Start to the body, but the main thing, when you land on that rope.
Now here's Tarver wailing away at Griffin against the ropes, and look for the counter. Boom.
Yes. But at all those punches, it's very seldom that he land a clean punch. And Griffin is fighting more effective now counter punching than leading. Every time he leads, he's having a problem because he's having to lead from such a long distance.
Our punches through round 2 by CompuBox numbers. Tarver 23 out of 52. Griffin 7 out of 26. Big edge for Tarver, but Griffin made his point in round 2 with a couple of those counters off the ropes.
Yeah, he definitely got the attention of Tarver.
Now let's see if the pace slows just a little bit in round 3. Tarver has expended a lot of energy in the first 2 rounds, trying to knock Griffin out. More and more, it looks as though Griffin will have to focus on the body.
Yes. But Griffin has problems when he's leading, and Tarver should let him miss and then take advantage of him, because seemingly when Tarver leads, he doesn't catch Griffin as much as when he makes him come in and miss a punch and takes advantage of it when he's off balance.
Well, the advantage Tarver has now is that he has won the first 2 rounds, and with the knockdown, probably leads 20-17 on all 3 cards. So if he stays in this position, ultimately he can make Griffin come.
Yes, yes. Griffin cannot fight effectively at that distance.
Body shot Griffin. 1 at a time, though, as Griffin is unwilling to try to throw combinations and risk what might be coming back from Tarver.
That's right.
Good job, Fox.
Griffin's assertion yesterday as to his own offensive effectiveness in this fight was Tarver's going to make a mistake and walk into something. Certainly that's what Griffin was hoping for around 2.
But right now, I don't think so. Tarver's fighting very safely right now.
And using his legs.
Use his legs. And Griffin seems to be a little bit on the wear and tear side from the years of fighting. He seems to be not as sharp, not as coordinated as Tarver is. 44
wins, 3 losses for Griffin. 29 KOs. Of course, everybody remembers the knockout loss to Roy Jones. He also lost to Eric Harding in 1998.
Todd is fighting very good, man. He's keeping Griffin at a distance where he can fight, and Griffin is not effective.
Step up clean, step.
And that's when he should shoot his punch. When he counters, takes a half a step back when Griffin comes in, and then he should let his power shot go.
Round 3, a tactical round. Tarver taking advantage of his early lead on the scorecards. Next Friday, May 2, tune in for the premiere of On the Record with Bob Costas for Season 3. It's all new. New night, new time, Friday at 11:30. On Show 1, the stars of Bull Durham come to HBO, though they may not be going to Cooperstown. Friday night, a roundtable discussion on one of the better sports movies ever made as Tim Robbins, Susan Sarandon, Ron Shelton, and Robert Wolf join Bob for the panel canceled by the Hall of Fame. On the Record returns May 2, only on HBO.
Keep your head in one place. Get the head in. And when you get them off, you got to get off 2 and 3 shots. You're throwing 1 shot. All right, okay?
Punch off the head a moment, baby. That's what.
Where we going when we go out here?
We going
to the body. No, to the body. Keep the jab and go to the body. Okay?
Very good.
Easy fight to score so far. CompuBox numbers through round 3. Antonio Tarver has already thrown 193 punches, and Montell Griffin has only gotten 74 of them off. Let's see how Harrell scored the first 3 rounds.
Okay, Jim, you know you're right. It is an easy fight to score. 30-26, 3 rounds to nothing. Antonio the Magic Man Tarver. Jim, real quick, you got to give me an extra point for the knockdown of round 1. Jim, real quick, I got to tell you what happened at the end of round 1. We heard the 10-second warning from timekeeper Lou Dell. At that point, Montell Griffin got knocked down by a left hand. Now, this guy's down about 7 or 8 seconds. When he got up, it was well past 3 minutes. When Mike Ortega jumped in the middle, he was looking for Lou Dell to ring that bell, which should have sounded. And Tarver still got in a good shot. I don't know why the bell didn't sound.
So you're saying Ortega was doing the right thing?
Absolutely. You can't let, when the guy gets up, the bell is supposed to ring. There's no question. In other words, as soon as he's ready to box again, the timekeeper has to ring that bell if 3 minutes have gone by.
All right, thank you for the clarification. If the score is in fact 30-26 on other scorecards, the official ones, then that further underlines the point that Griffin isn't going to be able to wait and try to counter all night long.
No, he's not. Because Tarver is fighting a perfect fight, and everything is moving just the way he wants it to be.
Griffin gets a little off balance, extended over Tarver, and Tarver takes advantage to land the chopping left. And another left right across the jaw.
And Tarver's utilizing his right jab a lot. To the end, and then coming up with power shots with his left. It was having him preoccupied by just picking him with the jab, and then he shoots a power shot. But he maintains the distance after that.
Big left hand by Griffin in response. Tarver steps back 1 step, goes back to work, takes another left hand. Jab for Tarver.
Griffin's biggest problem is he can't get close enough. When he gets close enough, normally when Tarver was punching, he can catch him, but other than that, he has a problem.
And you saw Griffin almost step into a southpaw stance to try to create a better punching angle against Tarver. He moved his feet, but not his hands, and then came back around. Antonio Tarver, like Roy Jones, is from Florida. At 34, he's a member of Jones's generation.
But Jones doesn't call him. He calls everyone else but him.
That's right. But doesn't have Tarver's number.
Yeah, his phone doesn't work in Florida.
Jones, as we mentioned before the fight, has spoken to Griffin on the phone and given Griffin positive signals regarding the possibility of a third fight. Interesting. Looks like Tarver would be the bigger attraction.
Oh, yeah, but I think it's a little personal thing. That's a local problem.
Duct tape on the shoe, man.
Listen to
Duct tape.
me. There's no duct tape. Listen to me. You know why you're getting hit with that hook? You're standing too tall. Okay? He's timing you. Okay? Listen to me. Put your hands down. He's timing your jab. Okay? So now you gotta stay low. Keep the jab working on work downstairs. Okay? Let's go, baby.
Put you a little closer to him, okay? And in the process, you gotta move that hair, okay? Move that hair.
Gotta find sets, baby. Gotta find sets.
You're
throwing one hook.
Yeah.
Where's 2 or 3? Gotta be in sets, boss.
Okay.
Okay?
More action as Tarver tries to go to the body, and Griffin with that big counter left upstairs.
I think the fact that Tarver wasn't even expecting anything back, he's so preoccupied now with offense.
And with his offense, he's helping to limit Montell Griffin's offense, as Griffin is averaging only 24 punches around, partially because he's spending so much time on the defensive. You know, Tarver's jab doesn't look all that menacing when he just kind of lays it out there, but if he lays it out there over and over again, it occupies the space.
And he's changing up. He'll shoot a few balls, and then he'll tighten up on one that's real hard. But the main thing is keeping Griffin at a distance, where the distance can't really get set to punch effectively.
Griffin steps in, dispenses with counter punching, leads with the left hook. Tarver gets a chance to land a combination in return. This is the problem for Griffin when he has to step forward and attack.
Yes,
he's going to have to come through a hailstorm to get there.
Yes, he's got to punch and step because he's so short and so far away.
If he just steps without punching, he steps right into Tarver's jab.
Unfortunately, Tarver hasn't been shooting the counter left hands after he misses usually. If Tarver would do that, he would probably have hurt him a lot more.
Tarver was criticized by coaches on the 1996 Olympic team who felt that he did not deliver a focused effort at the games in Atlanta. Really, this charge that Tarver lacks heart goes all the way back to those 96 Olympic games.
Yes, it does. You know, but now we're going to find out. He's in the pros. He's the top level of it now. I would love to see a fight with him and Roy Jones still.
In my view, Tarver's already lived that charge down. He showed me the heart when he decided to fight Harding again and knocked him out.
Yes, he did.
Straight left, lands on Griffin's face. Straight left lands again. Montell Griffin still not finding a way to mount any consistent offense against Antonio Tarver.
But Montell is very much in this fight. He's really looking to try to land one big punch to turn this fight around. He is not giving up hope.
Right hand by Montell Griffin. Tarver comes back with a harder left. Griffin's trying to land one big shot that will get him in a position to throw combinations and maybe hurt Tarver, but he's still unable to throw more than one at a time.
And Carver's keeping him right in that distance where he's got his bite in such a strange angle. It's hard for Griffin to land a good solid blow.
Wait! Step back, step back. Time.
Five rounds in the books between the light heavyweights, Montell Griffin and Antonio Tarver. Meanwhile, James Toney, former world champion at 160 and 168, prepares for what may be the biggest fight of the second half of Toney's career as he gets ready to go in tonight with his rejuvenated style and public image against the king of the cruiserweights, Vasily Girov of Kazakhstan.
Okay? All right.
Hey, look, you worked 6 years for this, man. Come on.
That's right.
Let's see some work, baby. Let's see some work. Right from here on out, you out there bullshit, man.
Get them hitting inside if you're not going to punch. Okay? Okay, now swallow that, swallow that, swallow it.
We've got some of the better cornermen in the sport here tonight.
Now what?
We'll talk about that in a minute. Here's a big left hand by Tarver, Emmanuel.
Yeah, but it seems like when he lands those punches, when Griffith can see him coming, even though they land clean, it doesn't affect him as much as when Griffith runs into punches.
Keep it clean.
Tarver has landed more jabs by CompuBox numbers, 36, than Griffin's total connects so far in the fight, which add to 28. You only land 28 punches in the first 5 rounds, and statistically, you're not getting it done. Tarver has already thrown 323 punches in the fight.
There's something I was noticing, Jim. The fighters have gloves to match their outfits tonight.
Which looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Tarver with the pewter to match his Tampa Bay Bucks ensemble. Everybody in his corner wearing a Tampa Bay Bucks ensemble. And Griffin with the green to match his beautifully tailored trunks.
Let him out.
Every little stylish element helps, Emmanuel.
Yes.
James Toney, of course, is old school. He'll want to wear the kind of gloves that Tony Zale and Rocky Graziano wore.
He spent a lot of time with his earlier training in his career, Bill Miller, watching a lot of the old fight films.
Tarver getting aggressive again. Griffin has taken some shots.
Let him out. Step out. Step out. Good job.
He lean in like that. Grip that left uppercut. Grip the left uppercut. When he step. Go ahead. Go back to work, Charles. Go back to work. Step it up, Charles. Step it up. You being late.
Orlando, Florida, Tarver against Chicago, Illinois. Montell Griffin. Griffin now lives in Las Vegas. Has for the past few years. A fixture at big fights, kind of like Chris Bird, who's here tonight, incidentally, as always.
Chris is a big fight fan.
Chris is the biggest fight fan there is.
Big fight fan.
Well, the more Montell Griffin waits and fights this way, the farther and farther behind he will find himself on the scorecards.
Yes, Tarver's fighting a good fight. Everything is just the way he wants it to be. And right at the distance he wants it to be.
Tarver needed a fast start and got it. You're fighting a guy who wants to counter. Go ahead and put him in jail on the scorecards so he can't wait.
And systematically he's pulling the fight out.
Okay, don't worry about that. This is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. You got to keep that jab working. You got to keep that jab working, Antonio.
It's over.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Keep the jab working. Listen to me. It's not over till it's over. Listen to me. Don't lose. Look at me, goddammit. Stay focused. You understand me? You understand me? Look at me. Do you understand? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now listen. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can't stop in front of this guy with one shot, okay? You got to take it all out of yourself. Pull it all out. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Control yourself, baby.
Okay.
Gotta go for it, baby.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You got to go for it.
You're in a little Vaseline. Okay.
You got everything on.
That happened right on the end there. You got Vaseline?
Just put
Here, okay, look. Here.
Seconds out.
In the corner. Seconds out. Hey, let's go.
There seems to be some problem in Griffin's corner. I noticed the regular athletic inspector was there, but also the doctor's in the corner over there, too.
Griffin, trained by veteran Thel Torrance across the ring. The outstanding and pretty hot Buddy McGirt has taken over Antonio Tarver's career the last couple of years. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim. 60-53, 6 rounds to nothing. Antonio the Magic Man Tarver. Jim, I gotta tell you something. In round 6, Antonio Tarver started to triple that right jab and start throwing 3-punch combinations. I mean, up until now, basically it's been one shot at a time, but Tarver really picking up the offense by doubling and tripling up on his jab and throwing combinations.
Is that a cut on Griffin's right eyelid, Emmanuel, or is he just swollen?
I can't tell. I think it's swollen mostly. But whatever it is, it's caused some problem, and it took quite a bit of time for them to let him come out for this round.
If it's a cut, it is in a very dangerous place because it's under the eyebrow, on the eyelid, in a place that could further tear and would threaten Griffin's ability to finish the fight.
Behind the head, okay?
Griffin has got some very good cornermen in over there. In addition to Thel, he's got Tommy Brooks, who also naturally is one of the best fight guys, and also you got Kenny Kroom. Most of the guys are from the old Eddie Futch team.
That's a very strong corner.
Yes, very, very strong team over there.
And of course, Buddy McGirt, training Tarver, has achieved a lot of cachet for...
Has had a very, very good year and got a good prospect to work with on top of that. Been very busy and very sharp as a trainer this year.
The one hiccup being, of course, that he trained Clifford Etienne in his 49-second assignment against Mike Tyson, but privately, McGirt told several observers before that fight not to be looking for another McGirt miracle.
Yeah.
Again, Griffin able to counter big.
Yes, but the injured eye is beginning to have more of an effect. It's really bothering Griffin.
And now Griffin getting more aggressive as he seems to realize that this eye is likely to shorten his tour of duty tonight.
Especially when the doctor realizes that a man has not won hardly a round on a fight, probably is going to absorb just more punishment.
It is bleeding.
It does make it easy for a doctor to terminate a fight.
There is blood now that's flowing out of the eyelid. It's flowing into Montell Griffin's right eye.
Time.
And Michael Ortega, I believe, is going to ask the ring doctor to look at it one more time. This cut is in a bad place.
Let him go. Let's see what they can do between rounds.
Okay.
Well, no secret now.
Stay in the corner.
It's now or never for Montell Griffin.
Yes, it is.
So whatever was plan A, that has to go out the window now.
But he's going to have to step it up right now. He cannot continue to set back. Not only was he losing the decision, but he's going to end up getting stopped on a technical knockout if he doesn't pick up the pace.
Big left hook by Griffin, but Tarver was the one who was throwing and landing a combination. This time Griffin misses the counter.
Yeah, Tarver's looking for the hook now.
Step back clean. Time.
It's the left cross of Antonio Tarver, which has damaged Montell Griffin's right eyelid and threatens to knock Griffin out of the fight.
Hold your head up. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Got guys back on? Right, okay.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay. Okay. All right, now listen.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen. All right, listen.
You can win this, man.
Okay.
You got to take it to his ass. You got to go. You got to make this. Man, you got to take it to his ass, man.
All right.
Ain't no backing up no more. All right. You got to take it to his ass, man. Take your hands up and fight this. Come on, man. Take your hands to him and fight him, man. I'll be all right.
Watch it. All right.
Come on, man. Fight him with everything, man.
All right.
You got to gamble with that.
Come on, baby. You can fight all night. Don't be hitting those hooks, Antonio. You understand me? Let's take all the play from him. Okay, don't give him no confidence.
Time. Stay in the corner. Stay in the corner. Stay in the corner here. You all set?
Yeah.
Okay, stay right there. Stay right there. Ready? Box.
So the doctor, who is now the key third figure in the fight, is Michael Schwartz, ringside doctor. And in Montell Griffin's last round, round 7, he connected with 12 punches, his highest number of the fight. The Tarver landed 23 and remains the winner of the round on Harold Letterman's card, where so far Antonio Tarver has won every round. Winner to collect 2 light heavyweight championship belts, stripped from Roy Jones after Jones's decision to stay in the heavyweight division, apparently to pursue a fight with Evander Holyfield in September. Public is likely to still see Jones as the king of the light heavyweights until and unless he makes clear that he'll never fight there again.
Yeah, I think it's clear to me. I'm quite sure Roy enjoyed being called heavyweight champion of the world, and it can be intoxicating after you hear that so long.
So do you think he's a heavyweight to stay?
I think he'll stay at heavyweight. I don't think we'll ever see Roy Jones fight anything but heavyweight. Eventually, you may see him fighting Lennox Lewis in another year or so.
Don't hold him hit.
That would be a risk.
I think it's going to happen. I've already told Lennox, let's get ready for Roy Jones because he's coming after you.
Step out clean, step out clean.
That means that the winner of this fight surveys the light heavyweight landscape as the #1 guy.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Roy Jones is going. You'll never see Roy Jones fighting as a light heavyweight anymore.
Certainly the winner of our second fight between Giroff and Tony is likely to call out Roy Jones. If Tarver wins this fight, he's likely to call out Roy Jones.
Oh, yes.
Griffin is looking for a match with Roy Jones. I have not yet decided to fight Roy Jones, but I know there's money in it.
Hey, Roy Jones got a lot of the small heavyweights. He's still got Chris Bird up there. He's got Evander Holyfield. If James Toney wins, James can go back and start eating again and get back up to 200 pounds.
Don't hook him and hit him, okay? I tell you again.
Montell Griffin is big buddies with Chris Bird, and he said he believes that his buddy Bird would beat Roy Jones. James Toney's even more adamant about it. He says, oh, Chris Bird would tear Jones up. But of course, Tony has no particular love or respect for Jones.
I think if it's all said and done, pretty much just as George Foreman said, Roy's going to decide to step up, and if I'm going to be heavyweight champion of the world, I'm going to fight the super heavyweight champion and end up fighting Lennox Lewis.
Tarver with a 3-punch combination landing again, just not letting Griffin get into a position to command any offensive shot.
Let him out, let him out. Step back.
And now, Griffin's left eye is beginning to swell as well.
Yeah, and he's got a cut on his left eye also.
Some of this is because Tarver, from his height, punches down at Montell.
Very effectively, too.
May 3 on HBO pay-per-view is the return of Oscar De La Hoya following his knockout of longtime nemesis Fernando Vargas. De La Hoya looks to defend his 154-pound crown against veteran puncher Yuri Boy Campos. Also that night, featherweight title holder Eric Morales, looking toward a possible third fight with Marco Antonio Barrera, takes on Bobby Boy Velardis, Fernando Bobby Boy Velardis of Southern California. HBO Boxing, for 30 years, building legends one round at a time. And between fights, we'll talk to living legend Oscar De La Hoya about the Campos fight, about the possible fight with Shane Mosley in the fall, and about the reconstruction of his career since his loss to Mosley 3 years ago. Oscar having a little fun with the camera. Shows a certain relaxation with his public figure role, huh?
Oh, yes. He's back on top of the world.
In the last 2 rounds, when Montell Griffin knew that he had to step up the pace to try to stay in the fight against Antonio Tarver with his eye being examined constantly by the ring doctor, Griffin still has landed only 15 punches, whereas Tarver has landed 36. Montell Griffin facing a tactical disadvantage against the taller, longer, sharp Antonio Tarver.
Break them up. No. Okay, easy on the rough stuff. Don't push him. Box.
The last big hitting southpaw in this division was Michael Moorer when he was on his way to becoming cruiserweight titleist and then ultimately the heavyweight champion.
He never fought as a cruiserweight.
Oh, that's right. He skipped through the cruiserweight division. That's
straight
right.
from light heavyweight to heavyweight.
How does Tarver as a southpaw compare to Moore, who was your guy in that day?
Let him out. Let him out.
No comparison. I mean, no comparison.
Moore was a harder hitter.
Michael Moore was a much harder player. And was physically, I think, bigger all the way around. A totally different style of fighter.
Stronger, heavier guy.
Much stronger. He normally walked around at 210 pounds when he was a light heavyweight.
Tarver is more of an elongated athlete type.
But Tarver is letting Griffin get closer to him. I've noticed it seems like he's slowed down a lot, and Griffin is getting a lot closer to him now. It's fortunate enough Griffin is tired himself, but Tarver is not as elusive.
He's expended a lot of energy in the first 8 rounds of the fight.
Just see there, he's getting hit.
That's right, and he gets whacked by a left hook, and that's the first time that Tarver wobbled backward on his feet after being hit by Griffin's hook.
Griffin is barely missing with a lot of the short right hands in there now.
No knockdown. No knockdown.
Tarver with a Derek Brooks tackle there in his Tampa Bay Bucks trunks.
Fox.
Let's go, baby. Come on. There you go.
Let him out. Let him out.
Griffin is getting much closer with his right hand now.
Blood begins to trickle again from Griffin's right eyelid. Sometimes, if you're in Tarver's position, you start to try to target the eye, and the other elements of your game go away.
Griffin's legs are gone now. A lot of those slips and fall downs are mainly because his legs are just gone.
Big left hook by Griffin, backs Tarver up again. Tarver got walloped on the chin by Griffin's left hook. Tarver chopping with the jab. Trying to reestablish space.
Good jab, good jab, good jab. And when Griffin throws the left hook down, similarly Tarver has learned to angle his body out of a way where, even though it may look good to the public, it doesn't affect him that much because he angles his body back.
Body shot by Tarver. More of those would be useful as he tries to wear Griffin down further with 9 out of 12 in the book. 10th round upcoming. Vasily Girov getting closer to the biggest assignment of his professional career. 1996 Olympic gold medalist in Atlanta. Winner of the Val Barker Trophy is the outstanding boxer in those games. Impeccable amateur pedigree. Unbeaten professional career. All on the line tonight against the best fighter he's ever fought, James Toney.
You got me. I'm over here. Can we go 9 minutes? Yes, sir. Can Antonio go 9 minutes? Yes, sir. Okay, let's go. Just like in the gym. Stay low and let's let your hands go. Okay. You can rest all day tomorrow, baby. Okay. Okay? Tomorrow you rest with them belts. Okay. You understand me? Don't. It's your life.
Right, let's go.
If you throw 3 punches, you're gonna hit him with one hook. You're throwing 1 hook at a time.
You got to go for broke, Cal.
The guy's tired. He's
Antonio Tarver. Tarver turned professional at 28, which is bizarre. Usually that's the case for guys who are brought to boxing late. Tarver actually had an elongated amateur career. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, Jim. 90 to 80, 9 rounds to nothing. Antonio the Magic Man Tarver. Jim, I just think he's doing too much in each and every round, getting in too many good shots, doubling and tripling with that right jab, and you know, throwing nice combinations. In the last round, Montell Griffin was bleeding from the mouth as well, so he's probably cut over both thighs and in the mouth. I mean, Montell really has to pick this up and land some shots. It's Antonio Tarver based on clean, effective punching. And one last thing, I don't know why they don't pull his trunks up.
But if you were looking for a round to give to Griffin, the 9th would have been it, because that's the first round in which, by CompuBox numbers, Griffin outlanded Tarver 8-7, and Griffin's offense lowered Tarver's punch output in the 9th to only 37 punches, by far his lowest output in the fight. So Antonio slowed down a little bit. It remains to be seen whether Montell can take advantage of the opportunity.
I don't think Montell has enough left, and he's not a big puncher. But anything can happen. But right now, I think Tarver just fighting him a little closer. Tarver should get his distance again and start establishing his right jab, because it was working very effectively.
At this point, Tarver would have to make a mistake, in all likelihood, for Griffin to win the fight. But that's not out of the question.
No, it's not out of the question. It could happen.
We've seen it many times.
I'm out. Jump. Step back.
Tarver continues here to throw fewer punches in this round than has been the case through most of the fight. He's only thrown 17 punches.
And he needs to keep the fight at that distance where he can punch effectively and get back to using his right jab.
When he uses the jab, he keeps Griffin away and on the defensive. Tarver needs to go back to being busy with the jab so that Griffin doesn't get these opportunities to leap at him with left hooks.
And make Griffin have to use his legs because his legs are gone.
Now another burst of energy from Antonio Tarver. In case you've just joined us, Tarver knocked Griffin down at the end of the first round, thoroughly dominated him in the early rounds, has cut Griffin's right eye on the eyelid, and generally has won round after round after round. But the brave Montell Griffin is still there, still trying to find a way to turn the tide with one big punch and give Tarver a loss he would regret for a long time.
10 seconds.
Boxing science going out the window now for Griffin. He just wants to find a way to get some leather on Tarver. They're tired.
So then let's go ahead and fight like a champion. Listen, we got 6 minutes. Listen to me, look at me. We got 6 minutes. You're losing the focus, Antonio. Okay? Don't let him get nothing off. Okay? Even though he's not hurting, you don't take those shots.
Stay low.
Stay low with this walk to him. He's a dead man. You understand me? He's got no legs. Don't look for the knockout. Just walk to him. Stay low. You can see everything coming. Only time.
Look alive. This is the last round. Okay? Run together like it's the last round. Okay? I'm okay. That's it. Okay? Yeah. Hang on.
You got knocked out.
Yeah. When it
ain't no decision.
Yeah.
He ain't lying to you, baby. You gotta have it.
You got knocked this man.
You gotta have it.
Okay? Yeah. Okay.
So you better go to the corner.
Okay.
He got him right here.
Tim Griffin is listed as the cut man in Montell Griffin's corner, but I think Phil Torrance is the man who's done most of the work in keeping that right eyelid under control.
Yeah, they coagulated to bleeding very good. It hasn't been that big of a problem. I think the biggest problem is just Montell's legs are going now. See, that's once again, and he could very easily get knocked down, knocked out now simply because his legs is bad.
Right hand lands for Griffin. You heard Buddy McGirt urging Tarver to regain his focus and simply not to allow Griffin to do the kinds of things he's done in the last 3 rounds.
Tarver should stand back and let Griffin miss completely. That way make him use his legs more instead of bending into the punches now.
They trade in the center of the ring, and Griffin is the one who's hurt. Now Tarver is knocked backward by a left hand. Tarver trading his feet into a right-handed stance to try to get at Griffin along the ropes. Now back into his southpaw position. Griffin in a little flat spot again as Tarver backs him into the corner.
Tarver has never at any point in time in this fight felt, I think, in fear of the punching power of Griffin. Even when he's gotten hit, it seems like he doesn't have no respect at all for Griffin's punching power.
Well, fighters at the top of the division wouldn't be all that afraid. Punching power simply isn't Montell Griffin's game.
No.
In his 44 wins, he has 29 KOs. And now the blood is streaming pretty freely from the cut above Griffin's right eye, and he begins to paw at it with his left glove. It's going to make it harder and harder for Griffin to concentrate on trying to get Tarver.
As long as Tarver keeps him right there and fights him at that distance, he's going to have complete control and still may end up getting a stoppage.
Tarver seems to be trying to mix aggression with safety first.
Yes. But I tell you, I will say this much, though. If Griffin is a little bit younger and a little better legs on him and a little bit more punching power, Tarver might be in trouble.
But he's not.
Because he's being very humble now. But it's just unfortunate that Griffin is just a little bit too slow.
A height disadvantage doesn't help either.
No, it doesn't.
Griffin steps into a southpaw stance to try to create an angle for the left hand against Tarver. And Tarver throws him off as Dr. Michael Schwartz is going to be brought in to look at the cut one more time.
Let me clean that. Okay, he's on.
And the doctor lets Griffin keep going again.
Fox.
They butt heads this time.
That's it.
3 minutes, baby. Listen to me. Put your arms down. Put your legs out. Put your legs out. Okay, now listen to me. 3 minutes, you champion what? Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now listen to me. He's gonna get desperate. Don't look for knockout. But do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
Close the show like a champion.
Okay.
3.
Can you make it through this round? Can you make it round? Okay. Well, I want you to look around. You got it. I got it. Okay. Okay. Now listen. Yeah. Yeah. This round. Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Now listen.
Last round, touch him up.
Yeah.
All right. About the eye. Hit him with the left hand here. Jab his arm. Let's close the show like you finished, like you started it. Look at me. Champion of the world. 3 minutes. Stand up. Stand up. Show me your champion. Let's go.
Go to this man and go punch him.
Look. Go out there.
Last round, touch him up. Last round, touch him up.
Both in final round.
Let's go.
Antonio Tarver and Montell Griffin fighting in the light heavyweight division vacated by Roy Jones, who held all 3 title belts, was the undisputed champion, but has moved up to heavyweight. Tarver has controlled the fight most of the way. Griffin can be expected to launch one last stand here. Harold, how do you have it through 11?
Okay, Jim. 11-0, 110, 98. Antonio Tarver. Jim, he's winning it on the 4 points that we scored. Definitely clean punching. Definitely effective aggressiveness. He's been aggressive the whole fight. Ring generalship is keeping the guy at the right distance. Good defense. Montell's not getting through.
Big left hand by Tarver, who seemed to want to finish with a knockout.
Tarver's going out trying for a knockout, and I don't know if he's going to get it or not, but it's turned out to be a much better fight than I had expected.
What do you think of the tactic of going for a knockout when you might have won every round?
Well, that's a thoroughbred. You know, I love knockouts myself. But I don't think it's going to be a knockout in the fight here.
But if you were Tarver's trainer, you wouldn't be nervous that he's going at Griffin this way?
No, I don't think Griffin is that big of a puncher.
I agree. I think that it's been Tarver's best strategy to be aggressive, be offensive, and back Griffin up. That's what he ought to try to do here because it's won the fight up to this point.
Yeah, and even when Griffin does punch, his punches come from such a lunge that he really doesn't have his feet solid.
Let him out. Let him out.
And everything Montell has been able to do in the fight has come one punch at a time.
Yeah.
He'll seldom beat a good fighter one punch at a time.
No, and Tarver keeps his body angle very good, but it's very difficult to put 2 or 3 punches on him.
Let him out. Let him out.
Well, Tarver's fought a lot of the best light heavyweights now. He knocked out Harding. He beat Reggie Johnson decisively. He will have beaten Griffin if he gets the expected result in this fight. He's talked about fighting Darius Michalczewski, but says that he would not go to Germany to fight Michalczewski, and you agree that's the right position.
I don't see no reason for anyone to go to Germany to fight Michalczewski. They've got all of the championships over here, and this is a neutral ground over here for the most part. And I agree with Roy Jones, too, 100% for not going over there.
Left hand by Tarver as Griffin comes in. Montell, who takes a shot pretty well, keeps on coming. Griffin recovered from the first round knockdown and has tried as he could to deal with his tactical disadvantage. Eats a straight left hand with 20 seconds to go.
It's very hard for a guy to be tired and exhausted to get up like that. If I'm not mistaken, I saw Tarver actually step on his feet when he hit him. And if he hadn't did that, I don't think he would have went down.
And Tarver, smiling for the first time in the fight, comes forward to try to finish Griffin, but the bell ends the fight. Big time performance for Antonio Tarver, who dominated the
great performance.
He's become a heck of a fighter. Bucking the tide of criticism that has surrounded a lot of his career. And a further feather in the cap for Buddy McGirt. Well, let's take a look at the knockdown as the doctors are now examining Griffin and trying to limit the damage to the right eyelid, which will no doubt be treated in a hospital later tonight. Big left hand, and he just ate it.
But they didn't show you. See, he actually stepped on his feet at the same time. Not that it was on purpose, but I saw it. But it doesn't show right here. And that's why he's trying to hold his balance right here.
Might have gone down anyway, man.
He was tired anyway. It was just a matter of time.
And this was one of the better clean shots that Tarver got in the whole fight.
Perfect shot.
There was no doubt about the outcome anyway. Now there's less.
It took me so long. I'm glad the world knows.
What a wipeout. Harold Ledyard gives every single round to Antonio Tarver, and with the 2-point rounds in both the first and the 12th, 120 to 106. I'm not sure when I've seen that lopsided score.
And Griffin was still competitive all the way, but he was just totally outclassed. But he was always trying to fight and trying to win.
Well, let's see how the three official judges saw it as we go to Mike Buffer for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant IBF and WBC light heavyweight titles, we go to the scorecards. George Smith scores the contest 120 to 106. That's the same score from judges Steve Epstein and John Lawson, all scoring at 120 to 106 for the winner by unanimous decision. He is now the champion, Antonio the Magic Man Tarver.
So Antonio Tarver takes over two of the three light heavyweight championship belts, which have been stripped from Roy Jones after Jones's official defection to the light heavyweight division. And on the basis of this fight, Tarver for the moment becomes the American king of the light heavyweights. He landed 105 more punches than Griffin. He threw 329 more punches than Griffin. He landed at a higher percentage. You saw the final score that Harold Ledyard put together, which was a huge wipeout. He landed 56 more jabs than Griffin. He threw 316 more jabs than Griffin, and all in all, it was an extremely effective performance for Antonio Tarver, who now joins us on camera, festooned with all sorts of title belts. You look like Roy Jones with this belt procession here. Congratulations on what was a very good performance from start to finish. After you knocked him down at the end of round one, you've got the counterpuncher in the position of having to come to you. Did you just figure you'd dominate him with the jab the rest of the way?
I'd first like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for making all this possible. It took so long to get here. Yes, I'm so happy that I trained as hard and as determined as I did, because anything less than that tonight would have surely ended in defeat. Montell Griffin is a great champion. I take my hat off to him, and I'm just glad I wanted this as bad as he did.
You talk about how badly you wanted this. You know as well as the rest of us do, going all the way back to your Olympic appearance in 1996, your career has been hounded by criticism, which will now be seen by most as unwarranted. Even Griffin said coming into the fight that he wanted to test your heart. Is it doubly satisfying to you to have gotten to where you've gotten, given what you know people have said about you?
Oh yeah, that's all the motivation I need. I've never in my life been a quitter. I've overcame so many adversities in life, and I know that nothing man can do to stop me if I set my mind to it. And I want to just say that's my motto. Believe in yourself, follow your dreams, they do come true. I'm a perfect example of that.
Let's take a look at the last knockdown in the fight as the straight left hand in the 12th round put Griffin on the seat of his pants. Were you thinking, well, if I get at him one more time, I can finish this with a KO?
Well, I was listening to my great trainer, Buddy McGirt, and you always have to be in the fight mentally and physically. You can't let up for not 1 second. And that goes to show you, if I would have got a little bit more right on the kisser, he could have been out before the 12th round ended.
You're the king of the light heavyweights now from this position. What are your future plans?
Well, I just want to take this victory, relish it, go home with my family and enjoy it. And anything goes with Antonio Tarver. I've never ducked anyone. I took the gigantic risk that most fighters today don't take. I'm just ready for whatever, whoever, and however. Antonio Tarver is here, and I'm here to stay.
All right, congratulations, Antonio, on a great performance. Antonio Tarver, light heavyweight champion of the world, and Emmanuel, in addition to everything else, he's a well-spoken guy and quite presentable. What about Antonio's performance and where he stands in the sport now?
I thought it was a great performance. He fought a very smart fight, kept the fight at the distance that he wanted it at, and never did give in. Even when he got hit, it never got rattled. He seemed to be very focused, very impressive. I would have liked to saw him and Roy Jones fight as light heavyweights, but I don't think that will happen unless he gets a little bigger, because I don't think Roy's coming down.
All right.